Reebok, Angel Reese are taking shots at Caitlin Clark, using her as promo. Angel Reese 100% has benefited from attaching herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn.
Angel Reese thought she was about to own the summer. She really believed she could walk into Caitlin Clark's hometown, throw up a few flashy billboards, and instantly become that girl. The only problem? The city didn't care. The fans didn't show up. And the moment the cameras started rolling, the silence was louder than any applause. Reese's "I'm in your city" campaign was supposed to be her big moment. The billboards were everywhere in Indianapolis.
Angel Reese, I'm in your city. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Everything about this 100% is trying to promote this rivalry. Let's be real.
Reebok dropped money like it was 1997 again. There were flashy videos, Instagram posts, and even a campaign slogan ripped straight out of a mixtape. Walk in your trap. Take over your trap. But here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark wasn't even playing. And that's where the whole thing blew up in her face. You don't walk into somebody's city, claim it like an NBA villain, and then throw a party when they're not even home. That's not dominance. That's just weird. Imagine Pat Beverly throwing a parade in LeBron's hometown while LeBron's on the injured list. It doesn't make you the king. It just makes you the guy holding the confetti cannon with no one watching. And the worst part? The fans saw right through it.
Look at what Angel Reese and Reebok are doing for views. This is promo they're doing in Indianapolis, where Caitlin Clark plays. That is a clear shot. You continue to attach yourself to her at every turn and use her as promo.
Social media turned her campaign into a punchline. Tweets were flying. People were saying things like, "There are more photographers than fans, and she can't even promote a shoe without Caitlin Clark's name." Not exactly the slam dunk she thought she was getting. Let's take a second and zoom out. This wasn't just a bad ad rollout. It was intentional. The whole marketing push was built around the assumption that Clark would play in the WNBA All-Star Game, bringing in millions of eyeballs. So Reese showed up with her promo machine, expecting to ride the wave. But when Clark got injured with a groin strain right before the game, everything collapsed. And we mean everything. Reese didn't pivot. She didn't switch messaging. She doubled down, kept the "I'm in your city" taglines, kept the trap references, kept the attitude. And the people of Indianapolis responded with the coldest shoulder since Kevin Durant left OKC. But wait, there's more awkwardness to come.
Angel Reese, you're a good enough player to where you can just do your thing at this point. You are a big enough brand and your game is good enough now. You're not no Caitlin Clark. You're not no top 5, top 10. You're not near that. You don't got to keep attaching yourself to this girl.
Not only did Reese push a campaign in a city already loyal to someone else, but she tried to make it seem like Clark's absence was her opportunity to take over. That's like showing up to a fight after your opponent pulled a hamstring and declaring victory. No one's impressed. The reality is, you can't hijack hype. You have to earn it. And Caitlin Clark? She's earned it. Every single packed stadium, every record-breaking broadcast, every Nike deal, it didn't fall in her lap. She created it. Meanwhile, Reese tried to take the shortcut, and the GPS rerouted her campaign straight into a ditch. Now let's talk about the shoes. Because this part is just painful. The Angel Reese one from Reebok was supposed to be her grand entrance into the sneaker world. 2 colorways, fancy names, Diamond Dust and Me Bounds, which honestly sounds like something your little cousin names their hamster.
So Angel Reese shoes are here. Literally, debut. It's got to be when she plays Caitlin Clark. The plan was to literally go and use Caitlin Clark for the launch of it. And I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like it's very clear that one side is absolutely trying to milk whatever rivalry there is.
But Reese and Reebok really thought this would be the next big thing in women's basketball shoes. Here's where it gets hilariously embarrassing. The shoes dropped during All-Star Weekend. You know, the same weekend Caitlin Clark was not playing. That was the whole marketing play. Drop the shoes while the biggest star in the league draws eyes to the event. But when Clark got injured and sat out the game, the lights dimmed, the cameras turned, and the buzz turned into crickets. Reebok placed a massive bet on one thing: Clark would be there. They even coordinated Reese's outfit changes to make sure she was always in Reebok gear when near Clark, like that's what would drive sales. Even Shaquille O'Neal was on camera saying the plan was to have Reese suited up in Reebok when she played Clark.
The gate.
We got to be crafty about how we get them in Reebok gear.
Be the debut.
When she plays Kevin Hart.
Let's do it.
I'll even come to the game.
Of course not.
Not when she dominated, not when she performed, just when she stood near greatness. That's not a marketing strategy. That's a coattail ride with extra laces. Here's the harsh truth: the shoes didn't sell. There was no buzz, no frenzy, no add to cart moments. And if there was a rush, it was people rushing to not pay the rumored $1,000 price tag.
Man, look, I don't know what the fuck Angel Reese was thinking. She wanted her shoe that just came out a couple months ago. The cost $1,000. Design, specified, perfect shoe that significant to them and to other fans. But $1,000 for a shoe, you definitely been on some shit. Like lately. I'm not going to lie to you. You have. But $1,000, no.
$1,000 for sneakers from a player who still misses layups on national TV? We're not even being shady. That's just the scouting report. Compare that to Caitlin Clark's Nike Kobe 5 Protros. Sold out in minutes. Resale prices hitting $600. That's because Clark has real demand. When Nike signed her to that $28 million deal, it wasn't charity. It was business. They knew she could move product, pack arenas, and carry a brand. But here's what Angel Reese didn't understand. Clark's shoes aren't successful because they're hyped. They're hyped because they're Clark's. Fans want a piece of her because they're emotionally invested. She's consistent, she's electric, and she doesn't need billboards to prove it. Reese's shoes, on the other hand, felt like they were launched in a vacuum. There was no demand, no connection, just branding exercises that landed with the thud of a missed free throw. She thought being loud on social media would create the same kind of loyalty Clark has. But again, you can't manufacture that. Not with marketing tricks, not with forced campaigns, and definitely not by setting up shop in someone else's city when they're too injured to clap back. And if you thought that was the end of the damage, think again. This was only the beginning of the fallout, because when the shoes tanked, the rest of the All-Star weekend started to unravel with it. So you already know the billboard flopped, the shoes flopped, but now let's talk numbers. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game ratings dropped 36% compared to last year.
Down from 36%, 3.44 million, when Caitlin Clark and teammates played the Olympic team. 1.25 million viewers tuned out, gone, snapped right out. Thanos snapped.
That's not a little dip. That's a nosedive into the pavement. From 3.44 million viewers in 2024, when Caitlin Clark did play, to just 2.19 million this year. That's more than 1 million people who decided, nah, I'm good, and turned off the TV. Here's where it gets even more brutal. This was in Clark's own hometown of Indianapolis. The league and advertisers were licking their chops thinking this would be a Clark-fueled bonanza. And the second she was ruled out with injury, the energy vanished. Ticket prices? They didn't just fall, they crashed. The get-in price dropped 48%.
WNBA All-Star Weekend, it's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. All of the stars are here, and look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
From $121 down to $64. And that was after weeks of hype around Reese's I'm in Your City campaign. So not only did fans not care, they actively avoided paying to see it. Meanwhile, the three-point contest and skills challenge, events Clark wasn't even in, somehow drew 1.32 million viewers. That's up 90% from last year. Why? Because people were still hoping for even a glimpse of Clark.
Friday, July 18th, ESPN airs the most watched WNBA skills and three-point contest ever, averaging 1.3 million viewers, which is up 89%. And some of you might be asking, what was the number for last year's 3-point contest and skills challenge. Have no fear, for I am here. 0.38 rating, and only 695,000 people tuned in to watch last year's 3-point contest and skills challenge. With Caitlin Clark's announcement for the 3-point contest, how many people still tuned in hopes of seeing her because they don't spend their time on social media staying up to date with everything Indiana Fever?
That's what we call the Clark effect. People tune in hoping she shows up in the background, waves once, maybe sips a Gatorade. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was on center stage and still couldn't make anyone look twice. Let's not sugarcoat it. The whole All-Star weekend exposed the league's biggest problem. When Caitlin Clark isn't playing, nobody watches. And Angel Reese walked into that situation thinking she could carry the moment. That's like Austin Reeves telling the Lakers he's ready to be the new face of the franchise if LeBron retires. It's not happening.
This WNBA All-Star Weekend was my first in person. The players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court. Also have to admit that I left during the third quarter. I just kind of couldn't take it anymore. Let's watch Glorilla perform at halftime. Let's see if they come out a little bit stronger in the third quarter. The lead just got further and further away, and I decided to go back to the hotel.
Reese tried to spin it after the weekend ended. She posted on social media, "This was the most fun I've had in a while, because of the players." Let's be real, that was shade. Capitalizing players while ignoring the fans, the media, the reception. That's the kind of energy you bring when your marketing just face-planted and you need someone to blame other than yourself. Not only that, Reebok knew exactly what they were doing. Even their internal playbook was built around Clark's presence. Their strategy wasn't about building Reese as a star, it was about standing her next to one and hoping for the best. When even your own sponsor admits you need someone else in the shot to sell shoes, it's not a good look. The WNBA tried to spin it too. They skipped over the 2024 numbers and compared the ratings to 2023 instead, saying, "Hey, we've doubled viewership." Yeah, because 2023 had 850,000 viewers. That's like saying your mixtape got more listens than it did in middle school. Congrats? The truth is as clear as the scoreboard. When Caitlin Clark plays, the world watches.
ESPN compares it to 2023 and puts out a press release about how great things were. But if you compare it to 2024, when Caitlin Clark actually played, it was down 36%. 3.4 million people watched last year's WNBA All-Star game. This year, a bunch of people did not watch, and they were smart. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in professional sports.
When she doesn't, the silence is deafening. And Angel Reese learned that the hard way, in front of millions, or, well, a million less than last year. Here's the harsh reality. You can't fake star power. Angel Reese didn't just launch a failed billboard. She didn't just drop a pair of overpriced sneakers. She exposed a playbook built on someone else's spotlight. And the fans? They weren't buying it, literally or figuratively. Let's peel this back for what it really was. Reese tried to skip steps. She saw Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise, her $28 million Nike deal, her sold-out arenas, her Kobe 5s flipping for $600, and thought, yeah, I'll have that too. But star power doesn't come from vibes and hashtags, it comes from results. Clark didn't walk into the league with hype. She built it. She put up numbers. She made jaws drop. And most importantly, she connected with fans. People don't just watch her. They root for her. They feel like they know her. That's why her merch flies off shelves. That's why the WNBA bends its schedule around her. Meanwhile, Angel Reese thought the billboards would do the heavy lifting. But you can't slap your face on a sign, post a trap reference, and expect people to hand you their loyalty. It doesn't work like that. It's like when Ben Simmons dropped those flashy Instagram workout clips and then forgot how to shoot free throws when the season started. The performance has to match the packaging. Even worse, Reese undermined her own credibility. You can't call a city racist and dangerous 1 month, then show up the next claiming it's yours for the weekend. Indianapolis didn't forget. And they definitely didn't roll out the welcome mat. That's not taking over someone's city. That's crashing the party after bad-mouthing the host. Reebok's strategy? A disaster. Instead of developing Reese as a unique standalone brand, they literally planned around her being near Clark. That's like Nike telling Jason Tatum, "Hey, just stand behind Steph Curry and hope some magic rubs off." It's a business model doomed to fail. And it did. But this wasn't just a marketing miss. It was a full-on identity crisis. Reese tried to become a megastar overnight. Without the stats, without the accolades, and without the fan base, her campaign felt like someone trying to crash the All-Star table without ever earning a seat. By the end of All-Star Weekend, the damage was done. The shoes flopped, the ratings crashed, the tickets nosedived, and most of all, Reese's reputation took a hit she didn't see coming. She went from rising star to marketing cautionary tale in under 72 hours. Here's the bottom line. You don't get to become Caitlin Clark by standing next to Caitlin Clark. You get there by grinding, by showing up, and by delivering every time the spotlight hits. Reese has the talent, sure, but the strategy? It wasn't just bad, it was backward, and fans noticed. Loudly. If you're enjoying this content and want to see more breakdowns like this, please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. Thank you.